Good morning. Hi, neighbor. Kari Hopkins, Chief Development Officer at Coyote Hill Christian Children's Home. Kari, good morning. And what's life like in your house this morning?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me. We have two young kiddos, a 4 and a 3-year-old. So my husband and I wake up early before them to kind of get a jump start on our work for the day because we are both working from home, and then we're tag teaming the rest of the day. So I'm on with the kids, he's on working, and then we switch just back, and we're kind of like ping ponging back and forth all day.
I uh, I know this is a really unique experience for all of us. And you had said before we started recording, that there were probably going to be some unexpected outcomes from this, both positive and maybe not so positive. Um, Changing the way that we work and making it socially acceptable now to work from home. I know that for myself, uh, hands down, I am much more productive at home, generally speaking. Now, I I crave with my entire being sometimes that camaraderie, being around other people. But I think hopefully businesses are seeing the value in this. They can have really productive and well balanced employees.
Yes, I think so, and I think it really opens up maybe avenues we didn't know existed, because we can give families the flexibility they need to be home or in the office, and still be expected to be productive and still be productive. Like, I think we have proven ourselves as a culture that we can keep moving uh, our society forward even when we're at home. So I think it'll be fun to see how things could change in terms of how to be more understanding for families and their needs at home.
Well, let's jump right into the conversation about families and their needs. Coyote Hill fills such uh, I don't know. Larry McDaniel has called it an eternally significant void or role in uh, in our society by providing care and support for kids who've been either abused, neglected, or just in homes that were just not good, are dysfunctional to the point that they really needed to be out of the home and work toward building themselves, towards hopefully restoring and strengthening that family. So I know that's the work that you're involved in there. How has that affected life at the Hill? And among the supporters for Coyote Hill, are you hearing more from them, or how are you keeping in touch?
Well, those are all great questions because I think we've seen some great things come of this, some family connections, some relationship strengthening while we've been staying in place. But it's also been challenging. We are doing essential work. This is needed by the children's division. We don't have an option to close our doors. Our kids live with us all day, every day, and so as summertime can be challenging being in a house full of kids, you can imagine a house of 6 to 8 kids constantly being together can be just as challenging in April. And so we're adjusting to help our staff. We've had some parent aides come in to live there full time as well during this season. And that has really allowed our staff to still have some flexibility and still take a night off. Even if they can't leave the property, they can still have a night off. But it's also given them so many new ordinary moments that they wouldn't have gotten with the kids. So that's fishing, that's hiking, that's they've got some baby chicks,
Oh,
which was
wow.
not on the which was not in the plan, a month ago. But now they have time to raise baby chicks and do some extra gardening. So they've boosted up their gardens, and they have also just boosted up the recreational time. So whether it's riding horses or riding their bikes around property. They're finding ways to support one another. And I think we also have seen really an increase from the Children's Division in a need to be a safe place. And so we are expecting more calls to come, even in the coming weeks. We have already seen an increase in calls. Yesterday, we got a call for a sibling group of 5 who needed a safe home. And so we are fortunate in a season that we have 5 openings, and so we can keep all of those siblings together. And that's really been our niche for the state, is to serve siblings well at Coyote Hill. But in addition to that, our foster care services program is really expanding. And while most in-person classes aren't occurring now, we revamped our ministry to be an online foster care training class. And so just this week, we started our first online training class with 25 families.
Wow. Is that all in Boone County?
It's at Boone and the surrounding counties. So we've
Okay.
got some in Callaway, we've got some in Howard County, and we've got some in Randolph too. And again, the online option just really helps give the ability to be separate places, but still jump in and serve families as needed. So we are rising to the occasion despite all the negative talk that is happening around us, or just the lack of support, because it is a hard time for families. And so we are still seeing a decrease in donations, and really larger grant funding is being delayed. That was all unexpected, of course. And so we're having to make cuts and to figure out how to keep us going. So I think a lot of nonprofits are in that same boat right now.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Demand
but
for service.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, then we are seeing, and I'm sure other nonprofits are seeing too, our demand for services, the demand for foster care homes is rising. All reports are showing that is going to be a dramatic increase in the need for foster care parents. Pit against the lack of the funding is decreasing. And so that's this balance we're in right now.
Well, and if my memory serves me right, Coyote Hill is nearly 30 years old in its history, and so has been doing this work for a very long time, and obviously has affected and influenced hundreds, if not thousands, of kids and families. So, what would be your message to the folks out there who maybe are typical regular donors, or those who have always kind of wondered about Coyote Hill and the work that you do, and you say, hey, there's a real need here. This is your pitch to say, hey, we're stepping up, increasing services to meet increased demand, but we need your support.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Yes, I would say to our families, and what we have been saying to our supporters, is that we are sensitively and recognizing that this is a hard time for a lot of people. But there also are a lot of people out there who can still afford to give, and still have that heart to give, still really want to help our community. And we're saying we are doing essential work at Coyote Hill, and we need you. We need you to give a little bit more, or to make that first gift if it's something you've considered or watched from afar from a while. Make that first gift, and it doesn't have to be grand. It can be as little as $5. I mean, we were started on a $5 bill from an unemployed truck driver. That was our very first gift at Coyote Hill 30 years ago, and so we have grown from small roots, and so we still have a big heart for anyone who wants to give any amount, and we're asking for that because it is a real need. So, and we're asking volunteers. A lot of volunteers can't serve anywhere right now, and that's really hard that's really challenging for some of our wonderful volunteers who it was a weekly routine for them. They would come out every Monday and bring dinner for the entire family.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we miss them dearly as well. But this may be an opportunity for them to, instead of buying those groceries they would have, to help feed that family, to put that money in the form of a donation.
Well, can you describe the size and the scope of Coyote Hill? The number of homes, typically the number of kids and staff. How big is this?
Well, like you said, Coyote Hill started almost 30 years ago, just right out of our founder's house. We started as a small one house, one family foster family. And from that need, from that experience, they realized they needed more. They needed professional services like counseling on site. We wanted to build an equine program to help do equine therapy. And so slowly over those 30 years, we've grown. And so now we have 300 acres of land all given to us, 5 homes with a sixth one on the way, serving kids, and a full service education and resource center. So a place for kids to receive counseling, to receive tutoring after school, to meet with their biological families so they can have safe visits on site. And then we also have a massive horse arena with about 17 horses that they get to ride weekly. Each house is equipped with their own playground and basketball court and just yard to roam. And then this past year, well, really this January, we kicked off a new branch of ministry, which was our foster care services branch. And so in January, we started with our very first STARS class, which is the foster parenting class. And then we did 2 classes in the first quarter and licensed 17 families
Wow.
in our community. And then we didn't stop despite coronavirus trying to hold us back. We found a way to still keep more families coming into our community to serve kids. And so that's why we started this online class as well. And so that has just exploded and has been such a gift to us to see all these families in our community who were looking for a way to help kids and who trusted Coyote Hill to come alongside them and walk through their own foster care journey, as well as the journey of the kids at our children's home site.
Well, and that's all such incredible news, and to know what the level of interest there is, because we also have some connections with CASA, the
Mm-hmm.
Court Appointed Special Advocate Program. And in fact, Kelly, my wife, was once a CASA volunteer, CASA worker, and I know that they've always really pleaded for more foster families, for more certified or licensed foster parents. So it sounds like that need is being met to some degree. I'm, and I don't want to dampen the conversation, but the reality also during this time is that there are families out there that don't have the support, maybe don't know how to ask for it, maybe didn't know they need it. I mean, this has changed family dynamics, certainly for a lot of people in a lot of ways. So what message or word or encouragement do you have for families that might be struggling, where there is now, child abuse, there's domestic abuse, maybe it was already occurring, and now this is just not a good situation for women or even men and kids who didn't feel safe anyway. What can we do to raise awareness of that, and maybe encourage a neighbor or a family member, somebody who knows them, just to kind of call and check up? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think what you said is exactly what we are encouraging our staff to do, as well as people in our community, is to reach out to those families that we know have already been in a tough spot. So maybe their parent, it's a single parent situation, and they have a part-time job, and so we already know finances are tight. And then now, if that job has been eliminated, which many have, they are even in a tougher spot. And so we've reached out to some biological families of kids we've served in the past, who are home in a great, safe situation, but still are going to need their assistance from their network of people. And that's what makes community is the social capital we all build around us, so that we can reach out to friends and family when we're stuck. And I think one thing that it's hard to understand is people who are coming from situations of poverty don't have that social network to reach out to. And so it's really just them and alone. And so we as Coyote Hill can reach out to those biological families, or you as a parent of a child who has a friend in their class who you've just identified and taken under their wing a little bit. Now's a great time to do what you can to make a phone call or a Zoom chat, because number one, that child is going to feel seen and loved, and to know that they are not alone. And that's what we really want our kids to know, that they are not alone, that there are safe adults that they can reach out to. And then also to tell those families who are struggling, Coyote Hill is still working. True North is still working. There are places who are still, the food bank is still working. There are people who are still doing this work to serve you, and we want to help. And in whatever way that can be, we can offer online connections through parenting classes. Coyote Hill is doing weekly trauma-informed parenting chats on
Wow.
Thursdays at lunchtime, kind of a lunch break, just a quick learning session. But it's all about building connections with your child. And so that applies to foster parents and adoptive parents, but also just biological parents as well. That applies to us all. And so that's free, and you can join that. And that's a really great resource as well. And of course, we're asking teachers, if you don't have regular Zoom chats with your kids, are there kids that you can drive by their home and drop off a care package or a card, or drop off some food even. And I know I'm not asking teachers to give to spend more money than they already do on their classes, but just to continue to stay connected and maybe take that step for that one family you're thinking of. I know Andy Stanley is a wonderful pastor, and
Yeah.
he often says, do for one what you wish you could do for all. And so we're asking, just find one. Who is one person you can reach out to today?
Well, we're all kind of cooped up anyway, and it's great to be able to get out and get some fresh air, right? Maybe that's your reason to get out and drive by and put something in somebody's mailbox. Great advice, great words. Kari, I wonder too, maybe if we start to wrap up here, uh, what advice would you give to families? You've got small children. How old?
4 and 3.
Okay. So see, Kelly and I have talked about this. It's challenging enough just, being cooped up together, and we've been together for like 100 years, and I know that I can be really annoying even in best of times, and she told me this morning I was doing okay, right? But families that are maybe a little stir crazy just need to kind of break out of the doldrums of the quarantine scene. What are some things that they can do? What are you and your family doing to sort of make things just different, or just keep from going stir crazy?
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple things, and I think the get outside is said a lot, but because it really is so vital to our health. It can do wonders for 5 minutes, even when it's chilly, to be outside and move our bodies a little bit. I know also I try to start my day with a few questions that actually a local blog, Thriving Home blog, put together, and it was just 6 daily quarantine questions. So, what are you grateful for? Who are you connecting with today? Who are you reaching out to? What how are you getting outside? Answer that question before you even start your day and kind of
Uh-huh.
set that as a plan. And then how are you moving your body? Are you going for a walk? Are you doing some yoga in your living room? Just anything for 5-10 minutes is going to help you keep moving. And then also, where can you find beauty today? So where can you be looking to find little joys in those ordinary moments that keep you going throughout each day? And then, of course, what is God trying to teach you? I think that's a key one for me as well, as I think through um, what am I learning through this, and how am I grateful for this, has been really key. And then communicating with your spouse on how you're sharing duties has been really good for my husband and I, just how we're splitting up the days, writing down a schedule and figuring out, so that there are expectations, and no one is being left behind or feel like they're taking on all the work and all the children duties and all the cooking. And really sharing that has been key for us. And trying to take those, when we do have breaks with the kids, to not just be on our phone with our kids, but actually putting the phone down and saying, okay, this is my quote unquote lunch break,
Uh-huh.
or I'm in a meeting during this time. I'm in a meeting with my children and I need to be focused on them. And so that has all been really beneficial to us.
And I wonder if, this is not just a temporary patch for getting through this, but maybe some of this leads to permanent new routines and new ways of doing things, communicating and schedules and so on. Carrie,
Yes, absolutely. It has helped us tremendously. So
I
I'd
want to
hate
read.
to lose this knowledge we've gained.
Absolutely. Yeah. You said, what are we supposed to learn from this? And I want to end our conversation, if I can, with this from the Coyote Hill website. COVID-19, we will abide. In just the first paragraph of this, it's very short to talk about what's happening at Coyote Hill. But it says the kids are out of school, lots of things are canceled, and our routines have been disrupted. But our children are still safe. Legos are still fun to play with. Books abound, and God is still good. And I read that, and I just felt very encouraged from that myself. And good luck to you. Best wishes, blessings to you, to Larry, to Bill, and I name all of the staff that I know out there. But just amazing work you do, and thank you for sharing your thoughts this morning.
Well, thank you for allowing us to come on and share the fun things that are happening and the challenges that we're facing, because I think it's good to hear from our neighbors.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Carrie, again, thank you, and maybe we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you.